Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's finally here. My favorite day of the week, Slashback Saturday. Now, this is the segment my very good friend Joe, the Horror Man, created, in which we watch a slasher based on a certain theme and do a review. Now, this week's theme is sports. I'm going to be honest. My first thought was to do Graduation Day. That's actually the first thing that popped into my mind. But I like to do movies that are a little bit off the beaten track, ones that aren't talked about so much. So instead, I chose Billy Club. Now, Billy Club is a 2013 movie which runs approximately 94 minutes and is written and directed by Drew Roses and Nick Summer. The only other thing I could find on those two, Drew Roses was the editor on Blood Junkie, which was another kind of 80s throwback done by Troma, which is a fantastic film. Now this stars Marshall Coswell as Bobby Spooner, Erin Hammond as Allison McKenzie. The only other thing I could find on her was Death Do Us Part, and I believe that's a television series, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, this has Nick Summer, the director, as Kyle Tripper. Of course, he was my favorite character in the film. Funny, really cool character. He was in Blood Junkie and Don't Go to the Reunion. And Max Williamson as Danny Evans. Now, the big name in this film is Mark Metcalf, who plays the umpire. Mark Metcalf, of course, was Niedermeyer in Animal House. He was in One Crazy Summer and The Final Terror, which is a really, really underrated slasher that got released by Scream Factory. Good movie. Now, a brief synopsis. Now, it had been a while since I've seen Billy Club, and this is one of those movies where you kind of get bits and pieces of the past as the movie goes along. Now, for some reason, those movies throw me. I don't know why. I can never remember what happens in them, or the reason, the motivation for the killing. I don't know why. I guess it's how my brain's wired. Who knows? But you definitely get bits and pieces of the story as it goes along. And a brief synopsis. In the very beginning of the movie, you see a guy coming out of a bar, and he gets dispatched by the guy on the cover here, which is a guy wearing a catcher's uniform with a bat that he made himself, with nails going through it, and he kind of carved out the middle of it and put a knife in there. It's a very cool weapon as far as kills go, and definitely one of my favorites. From there, you get bits and pieces of the story, which are kind of as follows. I'll give you like a brief synopsis on the past history. One of the Little League team named Billy kind of loses the game, strikes out and loses the game for the team. They kind of gang up on him and bully him and do something really bad to him, which I'm not going to say. Kind of plays into the movie later, but he ends up killing two of the kids and the coach as kind of a revenge when he's a kid. He gets put in a mental institution, kind of qualifies for a drug trial, which is supposed to make him normal, and he ends up getting out of the insane asylum, and he goes back to take revenge on the other kids in his Little League team. That's kind of a brief synopsis, where he takes them out one by one, wearing a catcher's uniform, or so you think. It gets more into it. Now, Billy Club is a fantastic slasher, and one I don't hear talked about nearly enough. I remember when it came out, for me, it was the cover. I mean, look at this cover. When I saw the cover, I knew I had to see it, and did some research on it, and bought it, and, checked it out. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Like I said, I think it's from my VHS days. When I see a really cool cover, it kind of gets me obsessed with the film, and I have to see it. I don't know why that is, but Now, I normally don't get into the other crew in the film unless they mean something to me, kind of. And the cinematography was done by Justin Russell. If Justin Russell sounds familiar, he probably should. He directed The Sleeper, which is one of my favorite low-budget slashers. He did Death Stop Holocaust, Death Stop Holocaust, which I still haven't seen yet. Definitely have to get that one. And a movie that I've been researching for a while that I can't seem to get a hold of, which is The Gremlin. I'd really like to see that. But he's a favorite of mine. And I don't believe I knew at the time that he had done The Sleeper, I don't think. I can't remember. But anyway, some interesting things about this film. This film takes place in 1981 and 1996. So when the kids are in Little League, it's 1991, and of course when he's taking his revenge, and the main part of the film takes place in 1996. Now, the official Billy Club poster, which I love, I just love that cover, was created by Dog and Pony and won the award of distinction at the 19th Annual Communication Festival in 2013. Now, this film won a few awards, which is not surprising. This film won Best Feature at the Hollywood Horror Fest. It also won Best Horror Film at the Phoenix Film Fest. The Wisconsin Award for Best Feature. And the Award of Excellence at the Indie Festival. This is a high recommendation for me. Like I said, this movie got talked about a bit when it first came out, but really doesn't get any love anymore. If you can track down a copy of it, I'd say definitely get it. It is a fantastic film, and it's kind of a throwback 80s slasher, but done the right way. So, yeah, definitely check this one out. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.